Africa is the only continent on Earth where a child can spend 16 years in school and never learn the history of their own people. Think about that. A European child learns about Rome, Greece, Napoleon, Churchill, the Renaissance, world wars, kings, queens, inventors, and philosophers. An Asian child learns about dynasties, emperors, samurai, poets, astronomers, philosophers, and the masters who built their civilizations. But the African child? The African child learns everyone's history, except their own. If that doesn't concern you, then stay with me, because what you are about to hear was never meant to reach you. Why is African history not taught in African schools? Is it because Africa has no history? Is it because our ancestors did nothing worth teaching? Or is it because someone, somewhere, benefits from keeping you disconnected from who you are? This is where the story becomes chilling. Walk into any African classroom today, and what do you see? Children memorizing dates of European wars. Children learning the kings of England. Children reciting discoveries made by men who discovered nothing. Children studying Shakespeare, Dickens, Newton, Galileo. But where are our names? Where are the kings of Benin, the queens of Kush, the mathematicians of Timbuktu, the architects of Great Zimbabwe, the leaders of Mali, Songhai, Axum, or Oyo? Why are they missing? Because their absence is no accident. It is deliberate. Here's the mechanism. A people without history cannot understand their identity. A people without identity cannot recognize their power. And a people without power are easy to control. So the colonial system did something brilliant and brutal. Erase memory, rewrite stories, replace heroes, replace knowledge, replace languages, replace gods, replace pride with silence, and then create a school system to maintain the illusion. Here's a truth your school will never teach you. Before Oxford, before Cambridge, before Harvard, Timbuktu had a university with over 25,000 students. It held one of the largest libraries on Earth. Its scholars mastered mathematics, astronomy, medicine, philosophy, centuries before Europe caught up. Mansa Musa, the emperor of Mali, walked the earth as the richest man in history, building mosques, schools, and libraries that drew scholars from across the globe. Yet you were taught Africa had no universities, no science, no writing, no civilization. Your school lied. Not because your teachers wanted to, but because the foundation of African education was designed to produce laborers, not thinkers. Workers, not inventors. Consumers, not creators. People who respect Europe more than themselves. Imagine this: a continent with kingdoms older than Europe, writing systems older than Latin, structures that still puzzle modern engineers, mathematics that influence the Greeks, knowledge that traveled the world. Yet an African child grows up thinking their ancestors lived in trees. That is not education. That is psychological warfare. And it didn't stop there. The erasure of African history extended to media, textbooks, films, and even museums. Every story told, every hero celebrated, every narrative shared, all were designed to elevate someone else's history while making African history invisible. Do you know that the Yoruba had a sophisticated system of mathematics before the West? That the Dogon people could track Sirius B, a star invisible to the naked eye, centuries before telescopes? That the Great Zimbabwe was built with advanced engineering techniques that defied logic, without cranes, without machines, without modern tools. Do you know that the kingdom of Kush had iron smelting technology that rivaled Europe's centuries before the Industrial Revolution? Or that the Egyptians built pyramids so precisely that modern engineers are still debating their methods? Do you know that the Nok culture in Nigeria produced some of the earliest known terracotta sculptures in the world, dating back over 2,000 years? And yet none of this is taught in most African classrooms. Here is another hidden truth. African civilizations had global influence long before Europe discovered them. The Malay Empire traded gold across the Sahara, enriching Europe indirectly. Aksum in Ethiopia was an ancient trading empire connected to Rome, Arabia, and India. The Benin Kingdom produced bronze sculptures so advanced that Europeans could not replicate them for centuries. The Songhai Empire had libraries, universities, and scholars rivaling Europe's best institutions. All of this hidden. Listen carefully. To control a man, you don't need chains. You only need to control what he knows about himself. If he believes he comes from nothing, he will believe he is nothing. And a man who believes he is nothing will accept anything and build nothing. That is why African history is not taught. Because power comes from identity. Identity comes from history. Erase the history, and you erase the future. But here's the good news. Something is shifting. Africans are waking up. Young people are asking questions. They are reading, researching, and digging deeper. They are unlearning the lies and relearning the truth. They are reconnecting with the names and stories that were hidden. The kingdoms that built civilizations. The scientists who calculated the stars. The architects who designed wonders. The leaders who inspired nations. The inventors who shaped human progress long before Europe claimed the credit. Did you know? Ancient Egyptians mapped the skies with incredible precision, creating calendars more accurate than early European models. African surgeons performed complex surgeries, including brain and eye surgery, long before European medicine developed similar techniques. The Hausa city-states had sophisticated trade networks, urban planning, and democratic governance systems. African iron smelters built furnaces capable of temperatures unmatched in Europe for centuries. All this knowledge almost erased. And if you're hearing this right now, you are part of that awakening. Every like, every share, every conversation, every story told, you are helping rewrite history. Because once a people remember who they are, nothing can stop them. Africa is not without history. Africa is not without heroes. Africa is not without power. And the world will remember, because now we are remembering ourselves. Like this video. Share it. Follow this channel for more truths they never wanted you to know.